John, in the second half, how much did PJ become that guy that you've been wanting him to be?
Well, he's built his own confidence. He's taking control of games. He's coaching players on the court. I've been waiting a year and a half for this. And now we're doing drills. He's finishing first. Anything we run, he finishes first. And he just continues to build his own confidence. Tough rebounds down the stretch. I tell you, I was so happy for EJ Montgomery because I thought he was the difference in the game. Because we needed one more big guy to do something, to go get balls, to come up off the floor, to go be active defensively. He guarded the ball. Jamal Emmanuel helped us. Emmanuel went one for whatever, but it didn't matter because he got the biggest rebound and made the free throws down the stretch to finish the game off. And like I said, we're still a work in progress. We're halfway up the hill. We started the game, and you knew Florida would come out, and they were going to come out and play, and they did. We were tentative. I thought Ashton he stepped back in the first half. In the last 7-8 minutes, he was the player he's been for the last month. But he can't afford that. I told him, I said that the one thing is you lose this game because of how you play. It's a great lesson. Now the question is, we win it in a tight game because of how you play in the first half. Do you learn from that, or do you think that's okay? It's a tough deal.
Cal, so many of those shots in the first half were open.
What's that?
So many of those shots in the first half were open. Did you want them taking those threes, or did you want them getting inside?
Well, we end up taking 21, and you know it's between 20 and 23 threes is what I'd like us to shoot. But the amazing thing is they only took 19. They were averaging 33s a game the last 5 games, 30. So that surprises me that that's all they got off. But, you know, the press bothered us. As much my fault as theirs. You know, you look at it, we were trying to do a couple things. It was ugly. And then we just tried to screen it and beat it on the bounce. And, but the finish of it to try to, you know, we just, I told them after, I didn't have you as well prepared, which put us on our heels to start the game. They went to the 1-3-1. We messed around a little bit, did some stupid stuff. And, you know, I was trying some stuff. And anytime you try stuff, it's usually, why'd you do that? Do what you always do. So, but here was the other thing, you know, I keep telling these guys, there's all kind of things you got to learn in this part of the season. You got to learn to play when you're down. You got to learn to finish games. You got to make the tough plays. Well, that was a lot of that today. You got to learn to play when you're up 12. Just as important as when you're down 11. How do you play now? How do you get this to 20? Because if you give people hope in March, someone's going to beat you. And so, you know, using all these as teaching lessons is what we're trying to do.
Now, does your team get more out of this kind of win than it did at Vanderbilt when you represented?
Yeah, they might have, but it's tougher on me.
John, 13 points in the last 13 minutes, and it seemed like you guys stayed in front of everybody. I think defensively.
We did a couple things that we had to do different based on the fact that they were getting in the lane. And I thought the guys, you know, we had a couple switches that we didn't want to make, but the reality of it is, if you let these guys run downhill, there's 2 things that happen. They're either making layups or they're making threes. And so we were trying our best to keep them out of the lane.
Is there something, an extra focus that Tyler finds? He's talked about enjoying playing on the road and said he likes to play well in front of crowds that hate you guys.
No one hates us. Why is there laughter here? So people do hate us? Do they hate me?
That's what I've heard. Rumor.
They don't hate me, do they? Why would they hate me? What have I done?
Maybe they're jealous.
Have you
What's
noticed
that?
Maybe they're jealous of you.
That's Penny's line.
Try to be humble.
Have you noticed something that changes for him? I mean, I haven't run the numbers yet, but I'm pretty sure he's playing consistently better on the road than.
Well, here's what I said. When we pulled up, there were tents outside this building, and I made sure they looked and said, do you understand what it means when we come to town? There were tents out there. And so you better be focused and ready, because that other team is, their fans are, and you better be ready. And Florida played great. I mean, I think, you know, they're playing the way they need to play to win, and they've had some games that I watched that they should have won. Like, wow. That was, you know, touch and go when they had a chance. And, you know, you look at what they're doing and how they're doing it. They're giving themselves a chance to win every game they play. So Mike's doing a heck of a job.
What's the difference in rebounding? There was a couple possessions early in the second half where Florida got a couple in a row, and then it seemed like you guys locked it down.
I took out Tyler. Like, you're out. If you're not going to rebound, you're going to stand there and watch you're out. I'll put somebody else in. I think I put Emmanuel in. You know, we did the same thing in the first half. I thought Reed didn't leave his feet. I said, you got to be out. That's why I went with EJ. If you're not going to leave your feet to go after balls, I'm not leaving you in. The advantage we had, folks, you know we had an inside advantage. And I tried to take advantage of it by saying we're going to come down and move it and post it, but I just don't like playing that way. So we ended up opening up the floor and trying to play that way and then posting from that. But when we got it to Reed, when we got it to PJ, I would like to have gotten it to Nick a couple times. It was to our advantage.
John, how good is PJ passing on a double team?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
How key is that in any game?
Well, as when you're being evaluated as a basketball player and you're a big man, they just want to know that your assisted turnovers are 1-to-1. That means you can play basketball. If your assisted turnovers are 10 turnovers and 2 assists, they don't think you can play. So his are above, he's above water. Last year, he was well below water. And so he's getting better with the ball. He's, but you know, like I said, I'm proud of him, and it's not what I'm doing, what I'm saying, it's his work. But the follow-up is you have to go in games and have demonstrated performance to build your own confidence. You can do it all you want in practice, be the best player in shape, and then get in the lane and pee down your leg. Well, that ain't building up your confidence, I'm sorry. And when you build that confidence from demonstrated performance, I can't take it away as a coach. I can say something to you, it's not fazing you. But when you're not that guy, anything a fan, an official, a coach, all of a sudden you waver. And that's why I just kind of, I'm telling all these guys, you got to build your own confidence. You got to work in practice. You got to compete with each other. If you're trying to get over, you got to look in the mirror. You know you're trying to get over. That's fake swagger. And the minute the first raindrop hits your shoulder, your knees buckle. So,
John, how unique is a player like Emmanuel, run the point, knock it down a three? I think this game and Auburn, he got the last rebound.
yeah. Well, there are two kind of point guards, and this is what's crazy. There are drifters who can handle and do all that, but they're drifters. In other words, they'll play away from the ball. You're on Houston with James Harden. You're not going to be the point guard with the ball, I'm sorry. You're going to be a drifter. How do you play away from the ball? Can you make shots? Can you make that next play? He's more of a drifter, and Ashton is more of an attacker. So we have like both. Ashton's better on the ball defender. Emmanuel's better off the ball defender. They both can rebound, to be honest with you, but that's why I said all this stuff. You got to have the ball the whole time. Are you watching where the game is going? It's truly positionless. And some of the best point guards are not playing on the ball. They're away from it. So,
was Emmanuel a drifter before he got here?
I saw him as that based on how I thought he would play. I saw him as that kind of point guard.
Cal, second game in a row where Keldon was much better in the second half than he was in the first half. Have you noticed a theme as to what's going on there? Or?
Yeah, I coach him up in the second half and make him play better.
Why do you wait?
Because he doesn't listen to me.
Anything else, guys? All right, thanks.
Thanks.